हेलो दोस्तों, मैं हूं स्मिता कुमार और आप देख रहे हैं आपका फेवरेट हेल्थ केयर चैनल मेडी सर्कल। मेडी सर्कल में हम आज थायराइड की बीमारी के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं। थायराइड काफ़ी कॉमनली प्रेवलेंट माना देखा जा रहा है। इंडिया में बहुत सारे लोग थायराइड के शिकार हो रहे हैं। करीब 10 में से एक इंडियन एडल्ट हाइपोथायराइडिज्म का शिकार होता है। आईटीएस के अनुसार यानी इंडियन थायराइड सोसाइटी के अनुसार थायराइड के केसेस काफ़ी बढ़ रहे हैं, क्योंकि अब लोग काफ़ी जागरूक हो गए हैं। वो डॉक्टर्स के पास जा रहे हैं, अपना टेस्ट करवा रहे हैं। विमेन में यानी महिलाओं में करीब 18 से 35 वर्ष की उम्र की महिलाओं में थायराइड के प्रॉब्लम ज़्यादा देखे जा रहे हैं। थायराइड जो कि एक छोटे से गोइटर जिसके इलाज की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है से लेकर कैंसर जैसी जानलेवा बीमारी का भी कारण हो सकता है। इसलिए थायराइड के को का पता लगाना, उससे रिलेटेड सिम्टम्स के बारे में जाना हमारे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी हो जाता है। थायराइड हार्मोन का जो एबनॉर्मल प्रोडक्शन होता है हमारे शरीर में, वो थायराइड के एक कॉमन प्रॉब्लम्स में से एक है, जिसे हम हाइपोथायराइडिज्म के भी नाम से जानते हैं। थायराइड हमारे शरीर के मेटाबॉलिज्म प्रोसेस को कंट्रोल करता है। मेटाबॉलिज्म हमारे बॉडी का जो टेम्परेचर है, हमारी जो हार्ट बीट है, और साथ ही साथ कैलोरीज को बर्न करने के प्रोसेस के लिए काफ़ी हद तक जिम्मेदार होता है। मेटाबॉलिज्म इफेक्ट होने की वजह से कई बार लोग मोटापे के शिकार हो जाते हैं। दोस्तों, जैसा कि हम जानते हैं, मोटापा कई खतरनाक बीमारियों को सीधा आमंत्रण देता है, इनविटेशन देता है। कई सारे लोग ऐसे हैं जो वजन कम करने के लिए डाइटिंग भी कर रहे होते हैं, एक्सरसाइज भी कर रहे होते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी उनका वजन कम नहीं हो पाता। कई हद तक ये थायराइड या उससे रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स के कारण हो सकते हैं। मेडी सर्कल में हम आपके पास लाते हैं राइट हेल्थ केयर इन्फॉर्मेशन, एक्सपीरियंस डॉक्टर्स और एक्सपर्ट्स की जुबानी। तो चलिए उनसे ही जानते हैं कि हाइपोथायराइडिज्म क्या है, शरीर में थायराइड के होने वाले प्रॉब्लम्स के सिम्टम्स क्या है, और किस तरह से हम थायराइड और उससे रिलेटेड बीमारियों से बच सकते हैं। स्टे हेल्दी, स्टे ट्यून टू मेडी सर्कल।
Thyroid is an important gland, and problems with this gland may be more common than we may think. An estimated 42 million people in India suffer from thyroid diseases. This disease can affect anyone at any age, including children and newborns. To spread awareness about thyroid, MediCircle is speaking to eminent doctors so that people are able to manage this condition well. Hi, I am Amrita Priya and you are watching MediCircle. Today we have Dr. Nikhil Shah on our show. Dr. Nikhil Shah is a pediatric endocrinologist and child and adolescent growth specialist who specializes in children with short stature, type 1 diabetes, early or delayed puberty, obesity, diabetes, thyroid disorders, and various other endocrine disorders. So welcome, Dr. Shah, to MediCircle.
Thank you for inviting me. I'd like to thank the MediCircle team for spreading this awareness among people, because I think it's really important. Yeah, so thanks a lot.
Okay. So to begin with, Dr. Nikhil, what are the common types of thyroid disorders seen in children? And at what ages? What are their causes?
So when we talk of thyroid disorders in children per se, so there is a type of thyroid disorder when the thyroid levels are low, which we call as hypothyroidism. And then we look at a group of disorders where the thyroid levels are more, so that is called as hyperthyroidism. Hypothyroidism is very, very common. Hyperthyroidism is rare. So I'll be talking more on the lines of hypothyroidism because common things are much more common. So talking of hypothyroidism first, where the thyroid levels are less, it is basically seen in two age groups. One is right from birth, where we call it as congenital hypothyroidism, and one which we see after 2 years of age, where it is called as juvenile hypothyroidism. Now, congenital hypothyroidism is a thing where it is not easily picked up. Hence, it is very important to know about it. The common causes which are known about congenital hypothyroidism is either a structural defect, so there is some problem with the structure of the gland, or there is a functional defect. The structural defects are called as dysgenesis. So either the gland which is there is not there at all, so it's absent gland, or the gland is at another place, so it is an ectopic gland, or the size of the gland is very small, so it is called as an hyperplasia of the gland. These are the most common causes of congenital hypothyroidism. The other rare causes where I was talking about the functional defects, these are where the hormones, the process of the formation of hormones gets affected. This is called as dysharmonogenesis. So these constitute about around 10 to 20% of the causes of hypothyroidism. Now coming to the thyroid disorders which happen after 2 years of age. So that is a form of juvenile hypothyroidism. It is mostly an acquired hypothyroidism. So there is some process which is leading to hypothyroidism. Congenital hypothyroidism, there is no way to prevent it. For acquired hypothyroidism, this is what happens is the most common cause is autoimmune conditions. So your own body is acting against its own self to destroy the thyroid gland. So yeah, and hyperthyroidism, I said again, it is very rare. The most common cause of hyperthyroidism in children is again an autoimmune form called as Graves' disease, where the body itself is again acting against the thyroid gland to increase the thyroid hormones. Yeah.
All right. And how to pick up thyroid disorders in newborns? And is it really important?
Yes, it is very, very important because congenital hypothyroidism is the most common preventable cause of intellectual disability or mental retardation in children. So if we pick up the thyroid disorders in children itself, we are leading to a lot of children not developing mental retardation and intellectual disability. The problem with congenital hypothyroidism is there are no clinical signs and symptoms where we can pick up the child. So all children, it is very important that there should be a newborn screening program in place. So in countries like America and UK and Europe, so they have a national newborn screening program. So any child who's discharged from the hospital at the time of delivery, they undergo a thyroid test. In India, unfortunately, this thyroid screening program is present only in a couple of states. There is no national policy as such. Certain private institutes are following. So what I would advise is to all parents or any caregivers is before getting discharged, we should see that the child's thyroid hormones are checked. So this can be done either from the cord blood level or from the heel prick. So what we do is, this is suppose the heel of the child. A prick is made by the sister or the doctor and it is collected in a dried blood spot and it is sent for investigations. Suppose if this comes above a certain level, then we need to do a venous sample test because this will help us to pick up hypothyroidism and prevent future cases of mental retardation. So it is very, very important. All children who are born in a hospital or even at home, we do see home deliveries yet happening, should undergo a thyroid test, especially in the first week of life.
Okay. And how can parents and caregivers identify thyroid disorders in children?
So again, now, as I said, in newborns, there is very subtle, so it is not easily picked up. The best way to pick up a thyroid disorder in a newborn is a newborn screening program where we do a blood test or a heel prick test. These are the early ways to pick up. Now, the later signs, if we do not pick it up, so what can happen in a newborn? So what will happen is you will see that the cry of the child will change. It will become like a hoarse cry. There will be some sort of lethargy. Mother will complain that the child is not feeding very well. Other thing what happens is the head has two holes. One is the anterior fontanelle and one is the posterior fontanelle. The posterior fontanelle usually closes by 3 months of age. In any child, if the posterior fontanelle is very large and is not closing by 3 months of age, we need to suspect hypothyroidism. Other cases is you can see an enlarged tongue, there will be coarse faces, skin will become very dry, a large umbilical hernia. So this is in newborns, but these are all delayed signs. We need to pick it up very early, hence the newborn screening. And now coming to children and adolescents, where we are talking of juvenile hypothyroidism, the most common thing they will come with is that the child is not growing any height. So the most common symptom or a sign of hypothyroidism is a short child who's putting on weight. So any child who is short is putting on weight in the last 1 year, think of hypothyroidism. Other things, again, you will see some periorbital puffiness, the lips will be edematous. They will again complain of edematous. Other things that the parents commonly say that is the child has suddenly become very dull. He was very active, very good in studies. And now he doesn't respond to anything. He just prefers sitting in one place, prefers sleeping. They feel very cold. So yeah, these are the ways we can pick up hypothyroidism. So in newborn, I would advise newborn screening. And in older children, any child who is suddenly not picking up height, who's remaining short and putting on weight, I think these are the ways we pick up hypothyroidism in children.
Okay. And what is the treatment of this condition? And what parents monitor during the treatment?
Whether it is congenital hypothyroidism or acquired hypothyroidism, that is a juvenile hypothyroidism, the only treatment is a simple tablet. We need to give the tablet daily. So newborns, what we do is we crush the tablet and give it in the milk so they can give it to the child easily. It is given early in the morning. Newborn children, it is difficult to give them fasting, but older children, we ask them to delay the breakfast or delay drinking water for at least half an hour. And this is how we continue. Sometimes hypothyroidism can be transient, so we are able to stop the medications. But in most of the cases, if a correct diagnosis is made, they will require lifelong medications. Initial periods, so in the first 3 years of life, you would monitor the thyroid levels every 3 years because your entire brain development is dependent on the thyroid hormone. So it is very important to monitor it properly. Once the child is more than 3 years of age, we monitor it every 6 monthly. And as a child grows older and puberty is complete, we monitor it once a year. So this is the way we monitor thyroid hormones.
Okay. So Dr. Nikhil, are children with thyroid problems prone to acquiring COVID-19 disease, do you think?
So yeah, this is a lot of common questions these days. Parents ask, do children with hypothyroidism or any other thyroid disorder at a risk of developing COVID-19? So I would say no. Even the European Society has released out a statement saying that no, children who are having hypothyroidism are not at a risk of developing COVID-19. But it is important to understand that an uncontrolled hypothyroidism child, if a child whose levels are not well controlled, they are at a risk of developing any infection. So if they're at risk of developing any infection, they can develop COVID-19. Hence, it is necessary to maintain these thyroid levels in the right range. Another important thing to know that is because of COVID-19, all these chronic disorders are being ignored. So I would, urge parents, I know it is very difficult to step out of the house, but at least if you could do a phone consult or something, if you're on medications, see that you'll consult the doctor so that the dose can be titrated accordingly. So yeah, I would not say that COVID-19 per se, hypothyroid children are at a risk.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much for your insights on thyroid disorders related to children, because generally what we hear is thyroid in adults. People do not discuss much about thyroids in children. So very insightful session with you. And thank you
so much
for being part of the Medicircle show.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.